What's up, guys? It's Ken Kaplan. I'm in front of the New England Motorcycle Museum here. It's a cold winter day, but I'm warm inside looking at this 1977 Yamaha DT400. This is a November of 1976 date of production on this bike. It's an early 77 model. It is absolutely pristine mechanically. This bike is a #1 bike. Cosmetically, it's a #2 bike. It's original paint, but it's got a little bit of patina, as you normally expect from the seat rubbing on the tank right here, and a couple blems on the paint on the side here that I'm sure a professional paint shop could rectify. But it is original. It is actually 100% stock except for the tires, and it's been reconditioned mechanically. Everything's been done on this bike top to bottom, and it's been done with original components. The seat is a new seat and seat cover. As you can see, it's brand new seat cover. The grips are brand new Ori grips. It's got a nice set of period correct Ken to knobby tires, so it's set up for on and off road. The chain and sprockets are in mint shape. The speedometer is a brand new speedometer showing 46 miles. The original speedometer was broken, so they put a brand new one on there. The speedometer and tachometer work beautifully. The high beam, the low beam works beautifully, and it runs like a brand new bike. If you've been looking for a vintage enduro bike that you can ride anywhere, then you want to buy this bike. This is a awesome machine. And the thing about the big bore two-stroke is it's going to have plenty of power. If you want to take this thing on the open road with a passenger, you're never going to be in a position wishing you had more horsepower like you might be with a 125 or a 175 or a 250. And look at the quality of the motor on this thing. It's absolutely pristine. The previous owner of this bike was a collector out of New Jersey who wishes to remain anonymous at this point. Maybe someday he'll come forth, but he donated 18 motorcycles to the museum. The 2 Ducati 750 F1s, a Ducati 918, and some beautiful enduro bikes. All of his stuff, all of his bikes were mechanically a #1, as is this one. And he ran only race fuel in the bike, only aviation fuel or race fuel. There's no ethanol in any of the motorcycles from his collection. He had a full-time mechanic working on the bikes, so every bike was gone through top to bottom, front to back, and everything is done mechanically like new. The bike has obviously a headlight with a high and low beam switch on it. High and low beam. It's got turn signals front and rear. It's got a battery with a tender on it, so it has the ability to sit for long periods. It can sit for long periods and still have the bike start right up because it's got race fuel in it, and the battery will stay charged. So the collector who donated these had a huge collection of bikes, probably 85 motorcycles. So with a full-time mechanic, the bikes were kept perfect, but he didn't ride them very much, and that's when he decided to help the museum out. He stepped up, came forth, and donated these bikes to the museum to help us have the funds, the continuation funds, to run this massive facility and project here. So I guess it's the appropriate time to look at this right here. Need a tax credit? Have a bike you don't want? Need garage space? Doesn't run or ride anymore? Donate it. Donate your bike to the New England Motorcycle Museum and receive a 501c tax credit for the full value of the bike, free appraisals and free pickup, all makes and models. So we also buy bikes. If you're not in a position to donate them, we buy between 50 and 100 motorcycles a month. I bought 18 motorcycles this weekend from an estate sale. A guy passed away. You probably saw that one. And the previous weekend, Ken donated 18. Why 18? Because that's how many bikes I can fit in my 30-foot trailer. Well, we just ran out of gas. Let me put it on reserve. Let's see. Which way is reserve on this? Can you tell? I don't have my glasses on. It's up, right? Yeah, there we go. So it just went on reserve. Put another gallon in. See, it's got a new spark plug on it. The engine's been rebuilt, base gasket, head gasket, the carburetor's been rebuilt. The original exhaust system is in brand new condition. New tires, new brakes. You can see the brakes are all the way to the rear. New chain and sprockets. All of this work was done on the bike, including the new speedometer and the seat. And he put 46 miles on it. Why only 46 miles? Well, when you own 85 motorcycles, the gentleman who donated the bikes, he said that he liked to buy vintage bikes, perfect them mechanically, and ride them and see which ones he liked the best. And ironically, some of the ones he named out of his collection wouldn't have been ones I would have picked. He had a real affinity for the Bultaco 370 and a few other vintage bikes, a Husqvarna, that really work well off-road. So he also added an aluminum skid plate on this because he liked to ride his bikes off-road. He set up this bike where it's street legal, but you could ride it off-road. The forks have been rebuilt. You can see they have new seals in there. And it's ready to go. If you have any questions about the bike, give us a call, 860-454-7024. Let's take it for a little rip. I'll be right back. We're going to take a left here and go up the hill. Why? This is what big bore bikes are about. To have the power to fly up the hill, and you upshift going up. This hill's super steep. You don't downshift on these. Totally street legal. Take the bike anywhere. It's got a horn, headlight, brake light, tail light, high beam, low beam. It has a battery with a battery tender on it, as I mentioned earlier. So you're ready to go anywhere. Heck, with these knobby tires, you could probably, we got snow coming, you could probably take it on the street, as long as the snow doesn't get too deep. Nothing like a big bore two-stroke. I know the gentleman that donated the bikes, he, when I was there, he was still working on one of his bikes. He takes his bikes out and rides them and brings them back to his mechanic and tells him what adjustments to make. This is one of the, very rarely do we buy a motorcycle, a pre-owned motorcycle like this, and get on it and have everything work perfectly. And that's a testimony to Ken and what he was doing. Here's one of his bikes right here. That's something you're not going to see every day. That's a 750F. That thing's beautiful. It's just the way it came. Sounds awesome.
Are you on film?
Yeah, I'm filming.
I just want to tell you something about the chain.
Listen to that. Rev it up a little bit. Yeah, baby.
Wow, that sounds good for us.
What a beautiful bike.
1986.
This is a very, very rare Ducati. Make sure this is back in the showroom before you go home.
He didn't know that this was already detailed. He's going to bring it right back up to you.
Yeah.
Already. Ready to go.
Maybe have Doc come up and do a final.
I think Doc's already up there.
Awesome. Anyways, I digress. I got excited. I wanted to hear it. Sounds amazing though, doesn't it?
I think you do.
Wow.
You want to ride?
I gotta bring the 400 back up. Do it.
One more notch tighter on the chain. It's too tight. It's got centers in the back. I think
Okay.
that's all it is. It's adjusted properly.
What a beautiful machine. Go ahead. Go ahead. This thing idle. The ratio smells great. Just a fantastic machine. These Yamahas, if you've been watching our videos for a while, you know that I had one of these when I was 15 years old. I had a 77, same exact year, DT175 with the 6-speed, the little brother to this one. And matter of fact, it was the same color. It was red. And I rode that thing everywhere. It never gave me any problems, literally no problems whatsoever. And I used it as a daily rider, 24/7, 365. I'd ride that thing all the time, everywhere, for several years before I upgraded to a RD350. Again, original, mechanically a #1 bike. Cosmetically, it's a 9 out of 10. It's a beautiful condition, rare, original. Everything's on there, turn signals. So, Kenny, is there anything that you'd like to add about this bike, or?
I'll tell you, Yamaha made a lot of revisions to the Enduro bike, and Yamaha was making the first off-road Enduro, and they kind of led the craze into the motocross era in the early 70s, where these bikes overtook the European manufacturers, and this is a sweet bike right here. Yamahas have a cult classic, or I'm sorry, they're a classic with a cult following, and
Metal tank.
that's right. They don't make them like this anymore.
Monoshock rear suspension, big comfy seat.
Right.
And
at this point, they had revised the brakes, different compression ratios.
The brakes were great, but by the way, it's brand new brakes front and rear on this bike. The rims are in beautiful condition. The rims, tires, brakes, everything was gone through. The suspension, the motor, and it was made to be a 1. And that's what the gentleman who owned it wanted, and that's what he got, and it's perfect. So we had to do nothing to this bike mechanically. All proceeds from the sale of this bike are going to fund the New England Motorcycle Museum, so it's going to a great cause. And you're buying a piece of moto history and helping to support the museum. So good luck bidding on her. Merry Christmas. This will look good under your tree. Happy holidays. God bless America.